Chances are, if you're like me, then you already know that autocorrect can be one of your best friends. Except when it goes horribly, horribly wrong. Case in point. Well, right now, inside every one of the trillions of cells in your bodies, there are genetic text messages being sent and received. Your body's genetic autocorrect is doing its very best to keep up. But it's not perfect. It can make mistakes. These are called genetic mutations. They can cause genetic disease, and that, like a texting autocorrect fail, can be disastrous. Now, unlike the flu or some other infection, when it comes to a genetic disease, there is no vaccine, there is no pill, there is no cure. And that is the wall of genetic medicine. So how do we break down this wall? A technology called Exon Skipping uses small synthetic DNA-like molecules. You can think of them like, like DNA Band-Aids that can stick to a region of a gene. Let's say a region that's next to a genetic mutation, so that when that genetic sequence is being read and it comes to that region bound with a DNA Band-Aid, it skips over it, it ignores it, and that mutated region is not included in the final protein product. And that's how you could treat a genetic disease. Duchenne muscular dystrophy is the most common lethal genetic disease that affects children worldwide. Characterized by progressive muscle wasting and muscle weakness, these children are wheelchair-bound by 10 or 12, on a ventilator, and they don't live long into their 20s, and there is no cure. But exon skipping could help, because the majority of these patients have a mutation in a very specific region of a gene. So if we can design these DNA Band-Aids in such a way as to target that region, skip over it, and create a protein where otherwise no protein would be made, we can treat the majority of these patients. And that's my research. I've taken cells from these patients, and I've designed these DNA Band-Aids in an effort to target that region, skip over it, and make a protein. And thanks to gene sequencing, molecular, and protein technologies, I've successfully done so. But what does that matter to all of you here today? Why should you care about DNA Band-Aids and exon skipping? I don't see too many people who look like they might have muscular dystrophy. Well, if you don't, do you know anyone who does? Do you know anyone who has Parkinson's disease or Huntington's disease? How about ALS or AIDS or cancer? This same technology one day could be applied to all of these diseases and more, and that day is not far distant. So, in conclusion, thanks to new technologies like exon skipping, the wall of genetic medicine may soon come crumbling down. Thank you.